Sita asked Maharaj why realization of one's true nature is so important.
Without realization, you will be consumed by desires and fears, repeating themselves meaninglessly in endless suffering.
So, why realization is important? So here he says, if there won't be realization of the self, you will be consumed by desires and fears endlessly. Because if you don't realize who you are, you identify yourself to be an ego, a separate entity, which is driven by desire and fear. So the first thing that comes out once you identify as the body is I want or I don't want.
So this knowledge is actually very selective.
What do you mean by selective?
I wouldn't play this audio for my brother. He would be disturbed by it.
Some comments I get that when people watched it and they are not really interested in truth, they're disturbed by it. I had somebody who was actually a student of mine when I was teaching him to become a dog trainer. I haven't spoke or heard from him many years, and he somehow, like 2 years ago or so, came across the videos, and he told me, don't contact me. I disagree with your point of view. It's actually I sent him an email because I was planning to go and maybe visit. So he replied, don't contact me ever again. I watched the YouTubes and I disagree with your point of view. That means, of course, the mind will rebel when it hears that. Because if it rebels, that means it can run the show. It can continue, be the master, so you would obey faithfully to what the mind is telling you.
So this information could work in reverse.
No, the person's just not ready.
Yeah, you're just not ready.
Not just ready.
It says in the texts you need 84,000 core lives before you may be ready to hear the knowledge.
Yeah.
Or some incredible length of time.
Even if you look, we don't do anything or promote this. Relatively, there's not a lot of views of these videos because they're not so easy to be digested.
Yet you go on the YouTube and there's so many Abraham speakers and Balshar and Tom Campbell. I just can't name the number of people that are presenting either this as you have presented it or variations of it, but pointing to the same direction, inward.
Yeah, pointing to the same direction, inward does not mean pointing to yourself. Because you can point, one can be pointed to their mind and thoughts and work with the thoughts, still identify themselves to be a separate entity or a thinker or the doer or the experiencer of pleasure and pain.
But it may help a person have a more peaceful life. Would you agree with that?
Yeah,
Or is that,
a temporary better dream.
well, you know, some Band-Aids could last for a week, some can last for months. You know,
So-
it can last for a lifetime.
Yeah. So it's good that someone has a better dream. The question I ask, wouldn't you would like to wake up from this dream?
I don't think they want to wake up from a dream.
Too bad for them, they don't know what they're missing.
True. But you don't see the movie, you don't know how good it is.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll
Most of the people do not know that there can be an end to pain. But once they have heard the good news, obviously going beyond all strife and struggle is the most urgent task that can be.
I have a question on that too. So this kind of work, and you've had enough experience with people to know, is for a family man and a family woman, or do they have to finish their obligation and duties as a father or mother or parent before they take this journey inward?
It's for anyone who it resonates and they are drawn to. And the obstacles is in their beliefs, in their mind, and not anywhere else. The obstacle is not on the physical level. Means being a family man or a woman, it's what her or his beliefs around being a family man or woman. It's not the family, because the objects do not affect the mind. The mind is reacting, and that which reacts to the thoughts is the one who you take yourself to be until you start to question it.
Will this journey, and it appears to be a journey, affect the children of people that have taken on this journey? Since these children are growing up in a society that doesn't necessarily promote this kind of work.
For some it does, for some it doesn't. Because I've been with the families, and I've seen the kids, and I've seen some kids that grew up in the family, and some really it impacted them, and some it didn't. So I don't think there is a particular rule for this. In ancient times, they used to plant the seeds, the knowledge. That's what Nagaraj used to say. They would plant the seeds of knowledge in the songs. So the children were singing the knowledge unconsciously, and as they were singing it, so that means repetition over and over and over again. And as they start growing up and being more mature, some of the seeds basically start to sprout and flourish.
That's it.
So they used that wisdom, ancient, for thousands of years.
So, but this is not done today in most families.
No, the difference today is that you can go on the video and you can find the knowledge.
The children are not going to
YouTube.
do that. What I'm just saying, parents that are choose to be on this journey of identification of who they really are, could be very confusing for children.
Yeah, I don't think that this work is for a child. to undo their beliefs that cause the child stress is very useful. Let's say the child, because there is the egoic mind, what drives it, I want what I don't have, and I don't want what I have. It's getting attached to more the desire, yes? So what happens, there's a lot of shouldn't. So when you undo that, there's more peace, more clarity. This work is actually to give up everything. A child is just trying to become fit in what he perceives the society. He's becoming, he's actually building his false identity. So after he builds it, then maybe out of grace he will be awakened to start to undo what he already built.
I know there are some schools that attempt to do something that public schools can't, the Krishnamurti schools, Steiner schools. There's several schools I can't name where they actually promote a creative side of the brain for the child, to be more creative and not so linear thinking.
That's good.
That's good, huh?
Remember that this work is not creating, is undoing. That means evolution. So I'll tell you one of the things that at different times I went to different people who were reading different things about the map or around just on a physical form, yeah? What was going on physically, mentally, by the astrology, map, reading, opening, coffee, the cards, different ones. Everybody consistently, when they looked at the map, they had a gap, a place of few years, it was almost 10 years, that all of them consistently told me, they were looking at the map, they're like, what is this? Everything stopped in your life. They were talking about you were actually going in a different direction. It means your life went into suspension, freezed. No, I saw it because I went through, because all the attention was going undoing in reverse. So when they look at the map, they saw it's not something that they come across at all, because the movement for the majority is moving, creating, and suddenly it was like in reverse going. So none of the people could understand what they're reading. I was smiling internally because I was aware that I was exactly going in the opposite direction that everybody going. Even there would be a woman one time that I went, and she told me, I've never seen such a thing, and then she changed and she said, so can you tell me about me, what you see? I was like, I don't see anything about you, what do you want from me? It's just that it flipped her so much that she's like, okay, what a map. So why am I saying it? I'm saying it just for one to realize that if your life wants to, your life, you want to go out, this work is not for you. If you want to withdraw from life into yourself, this is for you. And what people misunderstand, the more you are awake to yourself, the more asleep you are to the world. The more you are awake to the world, the more you are asleep to the self.
There is no happy balance here. I mean, can't there possibly be a balance where you can be aware of yourself and still function maybe as a surgeon or an attorney or a street cleaner, whatever it may be?
Can be.
Can be. To me, that appears to be a balance in this illusionary world, and also, in fact, you'll be probably a much more available person in that illusionary world, that whatever it may be, because you're no longer attached to it, but yet you have the credentials, you have the training, you have the ability to serve. Because I see you as a servant of humanity.
Yeah. Except the question that one has to ask themselves, what is it their calling, their strongest calling, what would it be? I can give a clear answer within me. I don't know for anybody else.
You are already illuminated. What else is there in your life?
Even in that illumination, let's use this word, there is, we can say there are like stages. And so that can be in the moment of death, or it can be prior, that one is fully asleep to the world. Fully.
We know of very few people that presents this kind of being, where they're fully awake in the sense.
So that's why I come back to the question, what is the strongest yearning and calling within? One has to determine. I can only share what is clear within this being. I do not know for anybody.